Welcome to the Bucher and Friends podcast, co-starring 10-year NBA center Ryan Hollins.
Couple pump fakes, leans in, shot blocked by Ryan Hollins. Hollins sent that into the third row.
6 rebounds and 8 assists.
Hollins climbs the stairs.
Down the floor. Ryan Hollins! He is the high jumper!
That's what I want to see. Give me some gunpowder and throw the hammer down.
And now, here is your host,
Let's send it over to Ric Bucher.
Ric Bucher.
Welcome to another episode of Bucher and Hollins, a subsidiary of Bucher and Friends, part of the United WeCast network. I'm Ric Bucher. You can read my stuff on Bleacher Report and on Twitter at Ric Bucher. He is Ryan Hollins. You can find him on Twitter at the Ryan Hollins. You can find him on NBA TV, as I did for, a Jerry Lewis marathon, it seemed like, over the last 24 hours. You can see him on ESPN. You can hear him on NBA radio. And obviously, you can find him here twice a week. So we have a lot to get to, Ryan. Also want to remind everyone out there listening to go to bucherandfriends.com and click the link to take a short survey to help us out. We are offering we're going to give away a $50 Amazon gift certificate to one of the people that fills out the survey. So give yourself a chance and fill out the survey to pick up an easy $50. All right, we're going to get to a couple things. Obviously, have to discuss the Victor Oladipo injury and what it means for the Eastern Conference. We're also going to pick our all-star teams. We are going to be the captains. And I also want to get into Ryan, and if he ever played with somebody, I'm sure he did, who was clearly gunning for an all-star berth and what that was like. And if you could tell by the way he played up until this all-star game and how he played after the all-star game. But we got to start with the disappointing, just heartbreaking news, which is Victor Oladipo going down. And I know you were watching. When he peels back, when he stumbles, he goes down, and it was a little bit like the Baron Davis play. Nobody didn't really get touched. Goes down, the knee doesn't look right. But when he peeled back the brace over his knee and kind of had this look like, you knew it was bad.
Yeah, man. Whenever you see a non-contact, it's funny you said Baron Davis, Sean Livingston, a non-contact injury, you really do get worried. And Oladipo, the one thing he is he's a freak of nature, man. The dude is super strong. I think what happened was he came back a little earlier than expected, and he's such a warrior. He wants to fight through that injury to be out there with his team. And what happens is you lose some of that stability in the knee, and you start compensating. And that's how he ended up tearing that knee up. And it was just a false step, but he definitely wasn't in shape or in a condition to necessarily be playing, So that's what's really tough about that deal.
I wonder, and this is why when people say, "Oh, players today are soft," and the whole rest and recovery and all of that, and the cautionary measures that teams take to protect guys. And I can't help, I just wonder, Ryan, you played through a stretch where I feel as if you saw the game evolve. And I feel that the game is so fast now that it's a different kind of torque on your body. But you would know better than I because you've actually been out there doing it. I'm observing, and it feels like I know by possessions, and in general, it's a faster paced game. It's not as physical, but in some ways, I think it puts a different stress on bodies, and injuries like Victor Oladipo, I think, are a reflection of that.
No, you're absolutely spot on with that. Obviously, the physicality isn't there. You can't put your hands on guys like you've been able to do in the past. But the reality is you're playing at such a breakneck speed that your legs are literally burning. Burning after the game. And that's what that's what happens. You know, you have to play so many possessions. So, I mean, you got to think there's probably 20% more, if that, possessions per game now, because the way that the speed of the game, the way that it's played, the pace, the ball movement, the cutting. And if you're a star, you're playing bulk minutes.
Yeah.
It's double the impact because you can't just kind of, you know, post up and hold the ball in the block and, you know, slow things down and play that old grown man style of basketball. So, dude, I remember finishing games and, like, my legs just, I mean, burning, Rick, burning from the game. You don't feel it. You got all the adrenaline still running.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that at all. We're going to get to James Harden, speaking of great players and dominating performances, but I did, before we leave the whole Oladipo and Pacers question, and I raised this with you before we started the recording, and I thought it was going to be an automatic yes when I asked, do you think this takes the Pacers out of the Eastern Conference playoff race? And you had to think about it a little bit. You're unsure about that. You've had a little time to think about it now. Do you still have them there?
I think I do. There's nothing special about the East right now that really has me excited to say that they're not. And I wouldn't be surprised if they stepped up and made a trade and just brought in another guy that could essentially score and facilitate. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to, you know, get a Victor Oladipo in this trade. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. And this is the team, Rick, keep in mind that they went 7-4 without Victor Oladipo in the lineup. Now, obviously, it's a different deal coming down the stretch. But they have a hard-nosed, kind of gritty team. They're not going to, even when they lost Paul George, everybody thought, oh, they got Oladipo, they're going to tank. They're just going to, you know, do whatever they need to do to survive. And that really wasn't the way that Kevin Pritchard and they addressed it. And it was even funny when they played the Cavaliers in the playoffs. I said, Kevin, I think you guys are going to get swept by LeBron. You know, straight up. I told him that. You know, he respected, hey, you know, this guy actually told me what he was saying on air. But what ends up happening is they went and challenged LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, they challenged them. So you got to kind of look at, it's kind of like the toughness of this team. And you got to think they still got Collison, Thaddeus Young, a number of guys that are like a solid group. This wasn't a group of young players.
Yeah, I respect the way that they play and what they've made out of themselves. And as a regular season team, they're still going to grind out some wins, no doubt about it. As a playoff team, they don't have that guy now. They don't have, without Oladipo, I don't see them, I didn't really see them as a title contender. I saw them as they can knock somebody off in the first round for sure, depending on the matchup. And maybe give somebody a run in the second, you know, make it interesting in the second round. But I didn't see them beyond that. And the big question is just, if Oladipo is done for the year, then I can see them I could still see them sneaking into the playoffs, one of those last playoff spots. I just don't know that it's going to matter beyond that.
Well, I mean, how glamorous is the 8th seed, Rick? And I think that's really what I'm basing my thoughts on right now. There's nothing glamorous about being in the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. And that's what makes me say they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I will say, if I'm the Detroit Pistons or the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, I am looking at this as, you know what, this solidifies our chances. Now there's no excuses. There's no excuses for the Pistons not to make it. And I would say for the Nets not to make it. I know what the expectations were at the beginning of the year, especially for the Nets. But I feel as if you took one of these teams out, and as we stand right now, you've got the Nets are in as the 6th seed at 26 and 23, and what a year they're having. What a nice surprise. The Pistons are just on the outside looking in, although Miami, who's in the 8th seed, are faltering. Detroit have to find their way into this mix, even if Indiana stays. Because I just think the East was already, as you mentioned, soft. This only makes it a little softer. It takes another team down a peg.
No, I agree. And I mean, Detroit, I agree. They have to get in. the Nets, I think they're playing with house money. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Nobody expected them to be what they are. I mean, like I said, Rick, I mean, there's really nothing glamorous about the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
You know, however we look at it, you know, even a team like Washington.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody, Washington, Rick, to me is the one you're looking at him and going, all right, you need to get in the playoffs. This isn't like I want to, we might, like,
Yeah.
they need to get in the playoffs, dude.
I can't argue with that. They certainly, I would expect them to be there before I would expect the Charlotte Hornets to be there, to be honest with you. If I'm just looking at talent across the board.
Oh, yeah. They won the Trevor Ariza sweepstakes.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trevor's the hottest man in basketball for a little bit.
No doubt. No doubt. Speaking of guys who are hot, James Harden, a 61-point performance, ties Kobe Bryant's performance in Madison Square Garden. I'm not going to get into the numbers of the unassisted points. He's averaging some ridiculous number of unassisted points per game over the last half a dozen games. And the thing that I thought about is I remember when people looked at Michael Jordan and thought that he was ruining the game of basketball might be a little strong, but that he was inspiring kids to play in a very selfish style. Now, Jordan never put up the kind of unassisted numbers that Harden is putting up or approached the game the way Harden did, in large part because the game is just played so different. And D'Antoni really approaches the game in a different way. But I wonder, when you just in general, do you stand back and how do you feel about what Harden is doing? Is it extraordinary? Is it a sign of the times? Does any part of you feel like, a little bit like I feel when I'm watching 45 threes taken in a game. I'm like, okay, it's kind of eye candy. I don't know that it feels like a guilty pleasure to me, Ryan. Like it's entertaining, but is it the kind of basketball that really excites me? I can't say that. And I don't know how to feel exactly about Harden. Am I impressed? Yes. Do I fault him? No. Am I like embracing it? That's where I kind of stop short.
I mean, honestly, Rick, he's an anomaly. And we haven't seen anything like this. We're not going to see anything like this ever again. And there's no stamp. There's no other player. There's no other scenario that we can really point to. I mean, Mike D'Antoni is the king. Mike D'Antoni is the king of the ball movement in offense. He's really started equal opportunity, take good shots, first shot available, he is that guy. And he changed his offense for James Harden. Mm-hmm. And it's just literally how prolific that James is and like what he's become. Now, the final stamp we're not putting on it is, NBA championship.
Right.
But
where does it get you
ultimately? He's had a lot of success. Drew, yeah, he's had a lot of success. And ultimately, Rick, I think you got to take a step back and just say, while the Warriors are the Warriors, we're never really going to have the right respect for any basketball team right now. While they are what they are, we're not going to be able to acknowledge another player or another team during this era.
Yeah, maybe another player is correct. What does impress me is no matter how you slice it, no Clint Capella, no Chris Paul, no Eric Gordon for a stretch, and it hasn't slowed down James or affected the fact that they are still, they climbed from out of the playoff picture into, as of right now, the 5th seed, and much of that gain was done with those guys injured and James carrying the load. And so I'm less impressed with huge numbers unless they're winning numbers. And these are winning numbers. So I am impressed with that. I guess this is the question for me, for you. When you look at what he's accomplishing, do you say he is an you said it. I don't know if you meant it this way. One-of-a-kind talent. We've never seen this before. Have we never seen this before because we've never seen a talent like James Harden, or we've never seen a talent like James Harden with a coach like Mike D'Antoni in a game the way it's played in the NBA as of right now? Is this circumstance, or is this just a phenom coming to light?
A little bit of both, because, I mean, obviously D'Antoni helped their offense and, kind of the spacing and the way they play around James. But it's transcendent, bro, in the sense that he plays the game of basketball. He plays the rules. And what do I mean by that? Kobe Bryant was a mental monster. Kobe Bryant was trying to put his elbow in your face, drop you to the floor, and drop 60 on you. And he would break his body apart doing it. And he didn't look to the refs for help. James Harden looks to referees. Some people really can't stand that. But he puts you in a situation, it's a game of chess, where you literally cannot put your hands on him. You literally cannot guard him. And then when you back off, he knocks the crap out of you. He absolutely knocks the crap out of you and lays the ball in the basket. And to the point, Rick, where it looks effortless. And the defenders actually look like they're ready to give up. They're complaining to the refs. They are livid. They are livid. Rick, they may step in and change a rule because of James Harden.
Yeah.
He's that darn good right now. They might change the rule. So that's why I'm looking at it and saying, Kobe wasn't going to do that. Kobe wasn't going to play to the referees. Kobe was going to bust you up, bro, like you were on the playground. And not to say that James Harden can't bust you up like you're on the playground, but they just approach things in a different way. And obviously, we know that Harden does not have a championship. We know that what Kobe was able to attain, and until we see a championship out of James, it's not fair to really throw him in these conversations. But you got to take a serious look at it, especially if he has some more success in the playoffs.
Can't argue with any of that. All right, so now it's time. I hope you're ready. It's time for us to pick our all-stars. And I would say that we do it the way we normally would on the playground when we're picking teams. We're going to have Team Bucher. We're going to have Team Hollins. You can have the first pick if I get the next two picks. Or I'll reverse it. I'll take the first pick, and you can have the next two picks.
So are we actually the captains?
We are the captains. Yes, we're not on the team, but we are selecting the team. So we're honorary captains.
That's fine with me.
You want to pick first, or you want the next two picks?
I'm taking second. If you're going to give him two picks, I'm no idiot. Bro, you're not working me over. I'm taking those next two picks.
Okay, I'm going to take LeBron.
Okay, well, I'm going to take Steph for one,
and
then I'm rolling with KD.
Okay, I'm going to take Joel Embiid.
Do I get two again?
No, you get one.
Okay, now let me get Giannis.
Okay, I'm taking Harden.
Money. I'll take Kawhi.
I'm going to take Kyrie.
Spicy curveball right here. I am going to take... Yeah, we're going to take Paul George.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Damn. I'm going to take Blake Griffin.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Rick, because Anthony Davis is off the board now.
I don't care. I am going to take Damian Lillard.
Okay. Oh, let me think. You got Kyrie. You're letting me run away with this deal.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What I want. If you're going to do that for team purposes, I'm going to grab Clay.
I'll go Bradley Beal.
Solid pick. Except I got a team guy. You got an individual guy.
I got LeBron and Embiid. I think that they'll keep Bradley in line. Besides, he's going to have to fight Harden and Kyrie.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Let me throw another curveball in. Jimmy Butler.
Oh, okay. All right. You know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go. You talk about curveballs? Try this for a curveball. I'm going to take Pascal Siakam.
Dang, he's going to play hard, too.
That's what I needed, bro.
Yeah, he's going to play hard. You're going to go Pascal. Let me go Jokic.
I thought you might go there. I'm not even wild about this guy. I got to take Rudy Gobert.
Oh, okay. You're going to take Rudy Gobert, Kemba Walker. Or did you get Kemba?
Wait a minute. Rudy Gobert just gave it to Jokic, didn't he? Yeah, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
I wouldn't just say gave it to Jokic. I don't know if I would go that far.
Okay.
I don't know if I would go that far, Rick. You didn't pick up Kemba,
No,
did
I didn't
you?
pick Kemba. You got Kemba.
I got Kemba, thank you.
I'm going to go Drew Holiday.
You only got Lillard. You snuck that. Your team is tiny, by the way. We're going to abuse them.
What are you talking about? I got Embiid and Gobert. I'm going to play LeBron at the 4, switching with Blake.
I got Russ. How do we pass on that?
Yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd forget him.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I got to take my time with you, bro. You only catch me when I'm like off my game, like not paying attention. That would have been a big. I would have been mad if you got Russ.
All right, you're worried about size. So you used to think I'm small. I'm going to go Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
So you got one more. You can pick one more.
I'm gonna go with Aldridge.
That's not a bad call. You know what I'd love to pick? I'd love to pick Montrezl Harrell just to give him some love. I'd like to pick Mike Conley because I'd like to give him some love.
I like how you ask this. Like, you want to make your picks, but I'm not giving you anything, bro. I'm not gonna like yay or nay on your opinions right now, because then you're trying to get want me to tip you off to what I'm gonna do next. Rick.
Well, you're done. You're done.
I'm not
you got your 12.
Yay or nay.
You got your 12.
I'm not giving you no yay
See,
or nay.
this is the debate I have. So Conley, I love Montrezl Harrell, but he's what I used to pick all quasars, guys who look like all-stars, but are probably never going to be all-stars. They'll never be selected as all-stars, but they are key to their teams, and they have performances at times that look like all-stars. I like Steven Adams. I think he's taken a step up this year. De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic. But I'm going to go with a guy who, even though he started off really slow, if it weren't for James Harden, we'd be talking more about this guy. And he's rounding into form right now and has for the last month, and that's going to be good enough for me. I'm going to give Donovan Mitchell my last spot.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Not bad I didn't pick.
All right, so these are the teams. You picked Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, Kemba Walker, Russ Westbrook, and LaMarcus Aldridge. I have LeBron James, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Pascal Siakam, Rudy Gobert, Drew Holiday, Karl Anthony Towns, and Donovan Mitchell.
Can we post this list?
These are pretty solid. Yeah, you know what? We'll have our crack producer John Libby put these out on Bucher and Friends.
This isn't bad for you, Rick.
What?
I'm showing you up right now. Yeah, this is.
No, I like my team. I like my team. I like the balance of my team. I like the size of my team. I like the scoring of my team. You got too many. I mean, in one respect, I like your KD, Giannis, Kawhi, Paul George stretch, but they're kind of all the same guy.
That's how you win, bro.
Hey, the whole switching thing. When I can put Embiid out there.
Embiid's gonna have to run somebody off the foul line. If he gets cooking, I'll throw AD or Aldridge, which I'm not excited about doing, but there's enough size out there. Or I got Jokic.
I got some scoring. I got some scoring though. I got some scoring.
We're gonna switch all those screens, and we're gonna be absolutely fine.
You're acting as if the All-Star Game's actually going to be real basketball. When was the last time we saw that?
Part of me definitely feels like the way I'm talking. It is. I'm getting excited in that sense. That's why I said Pascal will be a guy if he gets voted by the coaches. Obviously playing on the best team in basketball right now. I know Milwaukee just kind of leapfrogged them, but they just took a loss. But that's going to be a key factor.
But your whole team's going to be wrecked because Jimmy Butler's going to be pissed because he's not going to get the ball.
It's an all-star game. We got people to keep him in line. Jimmy just doesn't respect regular players. He respects the all-stars, fellow all-stars.
All right. So is there anybody, if there's one player that you wish that you had picked, is there anybody out there that you would have, you wish you had found a place for?
Kyrie. Yeah, you smacked me with Kyrie.
Oh, no. Not that I picked, but that neither one of us picked. Like the guys I mentioned, like Conley and Doncic, Danilo Gallinari. I don't know if there's anybody like Lou Williams. I don't know.
Conley, Tobias.
Jamal Murray?
No.
Not Draymond?
No.
Devin Booker?
Booker would be one.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think of guys, you can look at it in so many different ways, and I kind of did that even in my selection. Like, you can pick a team that you go, okay, this is a team I want to go to war with. Or this is a team that I think deserves all-star recognition this season. Or these are all-stars that would fit together and play well together. Or these are just guys that I like. Like I said,
you guys. You definitely went and got guys that you like, Rick.
Yeah, I went and got a lot of guys that I like. And I like in part because of the way they're playing. Like Lillard, I like Lillard. Blake, what he's doing this year, I like Blake. Now, if I'm looking at it, if I'm trying to outmaneuver you, do I take him quite that high? PG's the one I wanted. That's the one you got that I wanted. If Kyrie was the one that I took, PG, for the way he's played this year, is the guy.
I forget who. I got another guy that you wanted too.
Russ?
Yeah, because we kind of forgot about him.
I was hoping I realized that we hadn't picked him, and I was hoping I'd get one more shot because that was my next guy. But you know what? I will say this. So he went 11th. For the season that he's having, the way that he's shooting, that's really not too low for him. He's still dynamic. They're still very good, but Paul George has been carrying the water for that team. Now, one reason is because of all the attention that Russ brings, and that Russ has been willing to turn the spotlight toward Paul. But Russ, help me with this, because I look at his form. He shouldn't be shooting as badly as he is. He's shooting bad he's shooting 65% from the free throw line. He's below 30% from 3-point range. His form, we're not talking Lonzo Ball or Ben Simmons his form's solid. What?
Problem is, they haven't really been losing games because of it. And they're pretty elite defensively.
Yeah.
So he's do I really, really care? You need a shot. He's still making shots. And obviously, he got bashed by Colin Cowherd pretty tough again. I want to know what Colin's his deal with Russ is, because right now my mind is personal. It's kind of more than just a hot take.
I'll find out next time I talk to him.
He outplayed Damian Lillard. But it just, I think there's a difference between kind of not liking a guy and
having it in for a guy.
Yeah, I almost feel like he has it. And I think, Russ has maybe he rubbed the wrong guy wrong with kind of, maybe it was one of, his reporter buddies or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think there's something about the way Russ approaches things, because I will say this with Colin, he goes one way or the other. He's hard on Aaron Rodgers right now. And I almost feel as if sometimes when a guy is, and this, I don't know how much this applies to Russ, but when a guy is favored, that's when Colin goes the other way and pokes a hole in him.
But I think even with Aaron Rodgers, though, he's still very, very complimentary.
No, but now we're talking about Colin Cowherd and breaking down who he likes and who he doesn't. And why.
He's pretty complimentary though with even Aaron Rodgers, and I just don't hear that with Russ.
Yeah.
from him, and I'm trying to like, what is this coming from? You know, it just seems like there's a lot there.
Colin, you're welcome. We just spent like the last 2-3 minutes talking about your takes. That's a sure sign of stardom when another podcast is.
No, well, it's odd to me. It doesn't feel like more. It feels like more. I normally wouldn't say nothing like that, but I'm like, what? But, I don't know.
Like, what's behind it? You want to know what's behind it? Like, why are you going so hard at this guy?
There's nothing half full, bro.
Yeah.
And Russ, when he kind of does, kind of blows off a reporter, the media is one big family. So you talk to a guy, and then, oh man, all right, I don't like him.
Yeah. One guy that I wish I'd found a place for is Kyle Lowry.
He hadn't really doing that this year though.
Earlier on, he did. He was a difference maker, and then he got hurt, and then he was off. But
I don't think he's good enough to get in on kind of the name. Like Anthony Davis had some good moments, but your team.
You got guys I don't want on my team. Like I respect the talent. I can't count on him. It's what you say. Being valuable, part of being valuable is being available. He's hurt again. And now there's this back and forth as to, what the injury is, and is he going to be in or is he going to miss? Is it 4 to 6 weeks? What is it? And I'm just watching them. When Drew Holiday is on the floor, they can go get it. Anthony Davis at times is a bystander, and he's too good to be a bystander. And your boy, you were blowing up your boy up, Jokic, on NBA TV because of all the assists. But you and I well know he's a facilitator, man. There was a play in a game against the Jazz when they closed it at the end, and he had the ball, and it was a little floater, and he looked to make the extra pass underneath to, who was the big underneath? Was it who got blocked from behind by Mitchell?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It was the correct play.
Wait a minute, we're not going correct play. Dude, you're Jokic. You're within 5-6 feet of the basket. You're taking that shot.
It was a tough shot because he catches with his back to the basket and he turns. He made the right play. Now, if you want to say, you know what, you're the, you know what, bro, you're the star of the team. You have to take that shot.
Hey, that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
There's a level in me that I definitely, Rick, I understand that. I'm not fighting that. We're not going to contest that.
And I'm not going to fault him because what he is he is a facilitator. He is a guy who's looking to pass. But in that situation, if you're an MVP candidate, if you're the best player, if you're being touted like that, dude, you have to take the burden of taking that shot.
And that's so interesting, though, Rick. He's really not like, you don't see him playing for that stuff. You're not gonna go, oh man, I'm playing for this MVP. He's not playing. He's not playing for that.
True.
Like some guys would be like, all right, I'm getting mine. It's time. Like, you don't see that from him, bro. You don't see that from him. So that is a interesting element of his game that you're just never gonna see that type of play. It's always gonna be the right play, whether he's scrutinized or not.
Yeah. By the way, the whole dust up between Plumlee and Devin Booker?
You mean no. Devin Booker and Dang.
I'm sorry.
And then Plumlee got into it with Mr. Favors.
Mr. Derek Favors. Correct. Yeah, I'm mixing dust ups. Derek Favors and Plumlee get into it, and everybody goes, it was a fight. There was no fight. Why do we have to exaggerate everything? It wasn't a fight. In fact, I'm not even sure that they deserved to get tossed. Give them tees. It's the first quarter. They're going to be on their best behavior. They've got tees. They don't want to get kicked out of the game. A couple of shoves. Come on, man.
I guess I'm going to sound old. I definitely did not play in an era where there were just NBA fights all the time. But I know that wasn't like a deal, And then
it wasn't going to escalate.
Fergie Dang is going, man, this dude threw a elbow at me, and I got kicked out. And like an idiot, he goes to run after him in the back. I mean, I got kicked out. What is that? I wanted to keep playing.
Yeah. By the way, people were busting on Devin Booker. They were like, it was one guy holding you back. You didn't really want to mix it up.
Plumlee did not want no parts of Derek Favors either. I'll tell you that much, because you have more than a split second to go.
Yeah. And what did you make of Jay Crowder? Jay Crowder, when Jokic kind of like got in his face, Crowder was laughing. Crowder was like, get out of my face. You ain't scaring nobody, brah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this one. So the big question was Jokic on the floor? Well, technically they were by his bench.
Yeah.
And Jokic could have sprinted in there and just taken somebody out.
Oh,
but
that ain't happening.
He did the little skip and said, what? Like, what? Well, there you know what? Your guys are pushing and shoving and grabbing. So, the guys who have a thought process before the fight, and don't get me wrong, not to say that guy can't fight or he won't fight. Right. If there's anything cool about fighting, because it's the most non-cool thing, honestly. We got to teach our kids, but
no doubt.
I'm worried about the guy who don't say nothing. He just goes in and acts. I'm not worried about the guy who has to fill the situation out. Too late, bro. Too late. You've already got it already.
I'm with you. I put for all the flopping that Marcus Smart does, I put him in one of those guys where I put him as one of the guys who he means it. When he wants to come after you, he means it. He wants to mix it up. Yeah, well, to me, Marcus needs motivation. And I'm not saying that he's a punk, but I feel like when he's motivated, he'll go after you. Like him and JR, he was mad. But I've also seen him be in a weird headspace where he kind of hit somebody and he under slam him on the floor and he walks it off. It's just like his headspace. Like, remember Dennis Rodman? Ron Artest. Ron Artest got shoved, two-hand pushed by Ben Wallace in the Malice in the Palace. He tried to walk it off. Right. He was going to walk it off until Sam went too far. Yeah. But nonetheless, I think it's the headspace that the guys are in. But when those buttons are pushed, man, sometimes there's no turning back. Before we go, I have to pay off the tease. The teammate that you had that you knew, oh, this dude's gunning for an all-star spot. And maybe he got it, maybe he didn't. But I've seen it. I mean, I've seen guys who, like, they are the difference in the way they play before the break and after the break. Whether they made it or they didn't make it is stark. I'm just wondering whether there was ever anybody that you played with where you went, being an all-star this year, and it might have been contract motivated. It might have, I've never, this is my year, whatever it might have been. There's nothing else to play for this year. Did you ever have somebody that you knew that's what this is about? So for one, every year I've had a teammate that felt that way. Unless they were just established in it, like Jason Kidd and Dirk would be like, I hate this crap. I got to go again. Yeah. But there's always a teammate, and I mean all the way down to in Charlotte, like the Raymond Feltons. Like Raymond Felton going though, I'm trying to get in. Yeah. But the guy who was very slighted, and I feel privileged to be a part of his first season as an all-star, was Boogie. And he had really been grossly slighted. And it was something that was talked about a lot because it was just you almost felt like something was stolen from him. And I mean, he would put on show. He would put on a show, bro, against anybody who was an all-star. And finally, he got named. And it was so unanimous that they couldn't take nothing from him, but he had been an all-star. Yeah. All right. Well, we will end there because that's the perfect tease for our next podcast because we're going to talk about Boogie Cousins. We've now seen him a couple games with the Golden State Warriors. Everybody is running for the hills. Oh my God. What are we going to do with the Golden State Warriors now? They've been run. I think they're on a 8-game winning streak. The Boogie has played significant minutes, hit a couple threes. He's done a few things. I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to close the door on the Warriors and say it's a fait accompli. They're winning it all, and it's all going to work just fine. But we're going to save that conversation for the next podcast, along with, as what we do every Friday, we will pick the against the spread and the over-under for all 10 games Friday night. Last week we were picking 7 games, and you went 10-4. That's really good. I went 12-2. That's even better. So if you're not following our picks, well, hey, you know what? It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. But I'm telling you, when you look at our overall record and what we're doing, I might start paying attention and maybe laying a few ducats. Just a friendly little bit of advice from your favorite co-host on the Bucher and Friends podcast. All right, that's it for this episode. Don't forget, go to bucherandfriends.com, our brand new website, and go to the link that has a survey. Fill it out. It's real short. We just need to get a feel for who it is that's listening to the show. And you will be in line to win a $50 gift certificate from Amazon. In the meantime, he's Ryan. I'm Rick. We'll be back at you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.